Okay, so here's part 2 of our lesson. Sorry about the abrupt shutdown. All I've done was I've added a couple more leaves to the original canvas, and that's it. Now it's time to start painting, and what I want you to do is to squeeze out your paint onto either a plate or the palette, whatever is more comfortable for you. Like, I like to use a plate personally. You don't have to, but I like the option of being able to mix colors. So paper, plate, whatever works best for you is totally fine. Now, when you add white to a color, you're lightening it, and when you add black to a color, you're darkening it. That's called tinting and shading. So if I want to paint this background blue, just like this, it's pretty and all, yeah. But I think if I add a little bit of white to it, it'll add a little more dimension. It'll add some lighter areas. And if you don't mix it completely in with the dark blue that you've already put on there, you're going to have a really cool gradation going on. Now with acrylic paint, you want to make sure that you fill in all of the little white speckles. They're not going to go away. So once again, I take the blue. Now you don't have to use the blue. I'm just going with the sample picture. If you'd like a pink background, you would take the red, add a little bit of white to it, and you've got pink. So here's just the solid blue, painting that in. Then I'm going to come back with a little bit of white, and I'm going to tap some in there. Remember, no clumps, no bumps, no boogers. Spread it out nicely. It will dry pretty quickly. Another thing you can do if you're looking for the little white dots is to keep turning your paper, turning your view. It is fabric. Fabric has little holes. Those little holes are hard to fill in. So just take your time and paint it in thoroughly. And notice I'm not like totally bending the bristles to where they spread out. I'm just using the tip of my brush. Now another thing you can do is you can dip into the one color and dip into the other color, so you have two colors on your brush, and paint that way as well. That gives you instant blending. Now you will want to go to the edge of your painting and around the sides. So like you see, I'm stopping right here, then I'm going to lift it and continue painting the sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to paint my entire background, and then we'll come back for the next step. Okay, so if you notice that I have my background done, and the next step is going to be filling my skull with solid white. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have a lot of pencil lines that I don't want showing, and I want to fill those in. Not to mention, canvas, though it is white, it is not a pretty white. It's a very dingy white. So I'm going to kind of cover over that and just spread it out. Now I'm not going to go over the mouth because I don't feel like it's necessary, since we're going to be painting that in. The same with the eyes. It's more for like the cheeks and the forehead, just to get a nice white in there. Oh, I have a little booger. See that? It's basically dried paint that kind of collects inside of the bottles or tubes. You just pick them out. It's not something that you've done wrong unless you've purposefully left your paint open, but it just happens. Okay, so now I have white all the way around. Now typically I would say to blow dry it so we can paint on top, but in actuality we're going to go ahead and skip over to this little flower over here. I'm going to dry off my brush, and we're going to start on our little flower. I'm going to do an orange. So to make orange, I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, I'm going to mix them together. And that makes orange. I'm going to tap that in. Notice I didn't blend that color very well, and that's because I want a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red showing in my orange. So the next step, without even cleaning my brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip in my red and fill in my first petal. And yes, you want to work petal to petal because you want to add detail to each of these petals. Because if you ask me, that is boring. But if I take a swoosh of yellow and just drag it a couple times, it's a little bit of a dimension going on. So wipe the excess off your brush and do the next one. Fill it in with your red. Go to your yellow and swoosh a couple times. Wipe it off. Alright, so now that you know how to do the front petals, I'm going to show you how to do the back petals, and then we're going to pause while I fill them in, and then we'll get back together again. So the next petals, for each of the layers going back, you're going to fill it in. And then you're going to take a dark color. You're going to take either blue or black, whichever you prefer. I'm going to show you with the blue. Touch of blue on my brush. I'm going to come into this crack. I'm going to drag it up. Wipe off the excess. And then just kind of tap where they meet. And that makes a blend. We'll do it again. Wipe off the excess. Fill it in with the red. Oops, I don't have enough on my brush. I really don't have enough on my brush. Fill it in with the red. Wipe off the excess. Dip in blue. Come to your cracks wherever they overlap. And drag it up. Wipe off the excess and tap where they meet. Okay, do it again. Clean off your brush a little bit. Red. Fill it in. Okay, fill it in. And then wipe out, or I'm sorry, dip into your blue. Not a lot. Go trace the petals that are in front. Wipe off excess and